we're going to be diving into 1 hour to course clarity. So I would just want you to know that this is a results-oriented or results-driven workshop. So if you've been sitting on an idea, you're going to leave today from having just that idea in the back of your mind to actually having a full-blown course topic, as well as a way to be able to pre-sell your online course without creating a single lesson or module or strategic, deliverable or anything like that. So if you're excited about that, let me know. If you've ever, launched something before with a pre-sale marketing strategy, I'd love to know that too. What worked, what didn't work. This is an interactive time for us to work together. So any questions you have as we're going forward, go ahead and drop those in the chat too, and I'll be providing you guidance as we're going along. If you haven't already grabbed a pen and a paper, I recommend that you do that. And after the workshop is over, we will have the replay available up for 48 hours. And in the description box in the replay, you will have access to be able to download the slides, as well as to be able to grab all of the resources that we'll be talking about and going through today. So if that sounds fair and you're excited to dive in, let's go ahead and jump into our next slide. So let me know if this is you, if this feels familiar at all. Maybe, you have been thinking about a course for a while. Maybe you're like a one-on-one service provider, or you're a coach, or you are maybe still in your 9-to-5 and you are looking for a way to be able to create more time freedom in your life and to create more impact and be able to help people with doing the things that you love and that you're known for, and that just, you really are that go-to person in your space for solving a particular problem. And you've been thinking about it, but maybe you just feel like stuck on topic selection. Maybe you have a whole list of I don't know if you're anything like me when I first started my coaching business back in 2019, but I had a ton of course ideas written down in notebooks and like dry erase boards and like flip charts, all of those things with all of the different ideas, but I couldn't, I had a really hard time nailing one idea. Or, the other thing I often see, and I experienced as well, is that fear of choosing the wrong topic. So it's you have so many ideas here, once you finally pick one, then you have a fear of choosing the wrong topic and, worried about wasting your time, or worried about, creating an online course only to launch it and then to hear crickets on that online course and nobody buying. And then, maybe you feel it's just overwhelming. So let me know are you one, you're stuck on picking a course topic, or you're number two, you feel you're afraid of choosing the wrong course topic. Maybe you have plenty of ideas, but you're afraid of choosing the wrong one to start with. Or maybe you feel like it's just too overwhelming. So I want you to know, procrastinating on choosing in any of these areas, procrastinating on choosing the right course topic, or fear, not making a decision because you fear it's the wrong one and not going to be something that people are going to be interested in. It is absolutely normal. This is what stops most people and what keeps most people stuck. So I want you to know, if that's you today, that it's okay, right? I want you to give yourself some grace and know that it's okay. That is very, very typical. Or, when you're first creating online courses and first creating an online course and coaching business and working with clients. The good news is once you decide on something, and we're going to go through steps today on how you can validate your offer and make sure that we have market fit for that particular offer before you take the steps to pre-launch it and fill that first beta version. But once you start working with clients, then you're going to have an idea of what that next problem is to help them solve, because you're going to have this real feedback coming from your clients, and it's going to become very evident. They're going to be asking you to be able to create that next offer for them. So it gets easier. You're never going to run out of ideas. So that's the good news. That's the good news. So why you're here today, and as you're, go ahead and drop that in the chat below and let me know why you are here today. What made you sign up to this workshop? What made you decide to show up live for this training today? Go ahead and drop that into the chat below. So this is for you again, if you have been sitting on your course idea for maybe potentially weeks or months, or you've started building something but lost momentum. This is can be very easy to do because there are a lot of steps to be able to take an idea from ideation all the way to launching and filling your online course. And somewhere along the line you feel like you've just lost some motivation or momentum, or maybe you've just, like, you want to do this right, but you don't necessarily have the right strategy or clarity or purpose. So that's why you're here. You want to make sure that by the end of this, you have all of those things. You have a clear cut strategy and plan and purpose to be able to drive forward to get your course out there in the world. So I just want you to know you are not behind. You are completely at the right time, at the right place to be able to do this. Like, it's never too late. I want you to know that it's never too late. So rest assured that you are in the right place to be able to do this and do it now. So if you're looking for a sign, that this is the right time. I want you to think about, what if by the end of this workshop, you could walk away with your course idea locked in, your modules mapped out, and a way to be able to get paid before you build it. This is the promise of this workshop. They're not only going to have your course idea locked in, but you're going to have your modules mapped out, and you're going to have a plan to learn how to generate revenue before you even build it out. So how exciting is that? Give me a 1 down in the chat if you're excited to generate revenue before you've even created your online course. So what you're going to be learning today is you are going to learn how to choose a profitable course topic. So we're going to be diving into really understanding again what the market really is wanting, and also making sure that there is market fit for it. So we'll dive into more of that in just a minute. We're going to map out your mini course, your module. So in an online course, and we'll dive into more of this in just a minute, but you have basically a transformation that you're taking your students through. And that transformation, that path, what we call as an A to B journey, are essentially your signature framework that you're taking your students through from where they are before working with you and where they are after working with you. And then you have all of the steps in between. So we're going to go through how to be able to map out what that transformational journey is, what that signature system is that you have for your clients, and be able to map that out into the modules and then the bite-sized lessons. And then we're going to go through how to pre-sell your offer. So how to get paying customers before you've created all of your content. So that's what we're going to be going through each phase of this workshop today. And what you're going to walk away with here is having an immediate launch plan. So you're going to have a beta offer that you can launch with right away. So once you have this defined plan and you have your program mapped out, you're going to have something tangible that you can then walk away with, and a structured framework that's all mapped out from A to Z. So you're going to have full clarity. Not that you've created the online course yet, but you're going to have full clarity on what it is that you're going to be helping your students with. So that's another thing that often keeps new course creators stuck, is because they don't feel like they have a clear vision. They're like, okay, I've got a client, now what am I doing with them? And that even if you did get to have a client, maybe you were lucky and you were able to sign a client and talk somebody into joining with you, then you have a lot of fear around, okay, now I've got them, what am I teaching them? And that can really cause you to hide. It can cause you to want to just refund the client if you got a client in and say, oh, never mind, I'm not ready for this. It can really keep you scrambling and, just trying to throw something together, which ultimately leads to poor client results and not getting the transformation inside your online course, because you really hadn't gone through making sure that you're creating a clear transformational journey and creating a course that supports that transformation and the resources to go with it. So by the end of this workshop, you're going to have the immediate launch plan. So you're going to have that beta offer all mapped out. You're going to have that structured framework. So not only knowing what that path is, but you're going to have the structure. So you're going to know what's in each single module and what the steps are that make up that particular module, as well as being able to identify the tangible resources that you want to give your clients to be able to help them implement your steps that you're teaching them, and having a validated idea. So this is what you're going to, get clear on the idea, and then you're going to have the framework for that idea, and then you're going to have the launch plan. So this is an action-packed, again, workshop for you. I'm going to help you to be able to do all of this today live. So let me know, are you still with me? Let me know if this is, exciting to you, and if you're ready to go. So who is this for? So this is for you if you are a coach or a consultant. So I have many clients that come working with me, and they're like one of the two. Maybe they're a coach and they've been working with students in one-on-one capacity, and they've really found that it's gotten hard to be able to scale their business because there's only so many hours in a week that you can, or a given time frame that you can actually work with one-on-one students, because not only are you working with your one-on-one students, but then you are maybe wearing all of the hats, and you're having to take care of all of your marketing and your sales and your, it's program creation, marketing, sales, and delivery, right? So you maybe are feeling maxed out with that, and, kind of you're hit that income ceiling, a proverbial income ceiling, because you just can't take on any more one-on-one clients. Or maybe you're a consultant. I have a couple students that are in Course Creators Academy already that are consultants, and they help people in various realms. One is a counselor, and she's also helping a lot of one-on-one clients through her counseling practice, but she wants to be able to scale and help people worldwide through being able to bring her programs and counseling online. So maybe that's you, or you're a consultant or a service provider, and you're providing a particular service for a client, and you just, again, feel like you have maxed out. You have no more ability to be able to help one-on-one people, so you want to create online courses. Or maybe, course creators, here's where you're wanting to really streamline your processes and increase your course success rate. So maybe, you've dabbled in this a little bit, but you really want to be able to have a buttoned up, dialed in system that that you can easily implement as you continue to grow and scale your business. Maybe you have a signature system, and you're looking at ways on how can you turn that one signature system into multiple offerings so you can meet your clients throughout your value ladder, throughout their A to B journey. So maybe you have different offerings where you're helping people in all the way from a free capacity to low ticket offers, mid ticket offers, high ticket offers, and so forth. And we cover that much more in my program Signature Course Launch System. But I ultimately, by doing that and by being able to scale, it's really learning how to create, how to define, deliver, and run successful and profitable online courses that not only engage your students, but help your students to get incredible results. So you're either a coach or consultant, a course provider, course creator, maybe new to course creation, or looking to really scale your online course creation, or a service provider that is looking to be able to package your services into profitable digital products. So even if you're just getting started, you are in the right place. If you're any of these buckets, and maybe you're in the bucket that was in the 9 to 5, you're still in your job and you're looking, I have plenty of people that are still working a 9 to 5 and doing this alongside of their 9 to 5 job. And that is completely great too, because then maybe you're just doing it to earn additional side income, or maybe you're looking to do that to eventually replace your 9 to 5 income. So no matter where you're at, you're in the right place, because this training is going to be able to help each of you depending on where you're at in your journey. Let me know in the comments below. Are you a course creator? Are you still in your 9 to 5? Are you a coach? Are you a service provider? Go ahead and let me know which one you are. All right. So your only job today here is the following. The first thing we're going to be looking at is making a decision. Not making a decision is still a decision, right? Being stuck in indecision is a decision. And everything that you do everything that we do going forward, it's all going to start with making a decision. So the first decision we really need to make is being able to commit to your course topic, to picking one course topic. And I really recommend just starting with one. I I have made the mistake of trying to launch too many different products and services at the same time, and having some success, but not the success that I really wanted. And it was because I was trying to launch too many things at the same time, or too many things back to back, that it didn't really give me enough time to really see what's working, what's not working, and refine it and improve it and really scale that particular offer. So know that one course is all you need to really grow a profitable and scalable online course business. And you can add more over time, but you really, really need to nail the first offer first, because there are a lot of pieces that go into it, which we'll get into. But you really, it's kind of like, having too many gardens growing at the same time. If you're, trying to water this garden and this garden and this garden, something's going to follow through. So you want to make sure that you're just starting with one, and we're making that decision today on what that profitable online course topic is that you're going to choose. The second thing today is to build the plan. So here's, we're going to map out your core content, as we've been kind of talking about here already. You're going to be mapping out your core content for the online course. So this, again, is going to be including what that transformational journey looks like of what you're helping your students with as we're going through the online course from A to B, and then what deliverables you need to include in there. And then the third piece is just to focus on and take action. So focus on the steps, follow them step by step, stay in the step that you're in until that step is completed, and that's going to give you the most success. Clarity comes from doing, not thinking harder. So if you're with me, give me some love. Let me know that you're with me, and we will continue to go forward. A little cough drop. All righty. So a little bit about me. If I haven't introduced myself, I don't think I did in the beginning. I am Shannon Martell, and I am an online course creator and business coach. I come to you with over 22 years in corporate sales, marketing, training, team leadership, and operations background. So I worked in corporate. I started it back in 1995. I had all of the right skills. I just needed to be able to apply them differently. So I, grew up very fast in the corporate space. Again, started it back in 1995. I think it was like 23, and grew up and excelled very, very quickly, and really enjoyed my time there. I was a regional support manager for a long time and wore many different hats, but primarily we were responsible for the whole region's success with sales, operations, audit. I did all of the training for all of the associates within all of our teams to make sure that they were everything from even helping in hiring as well. I did a lot of interviewing, and then the onboarding of new associates when they would start, and working with their training and development and so forth. But in 2019, I ended up leaving because I was experiencing a lot of chronic health issues at the time. I was having severe migraines. I was constantly getting sick. And I ended up with a very, very long bout of migraine that just would not break, and was hospitalized for 11 days. And as I'm a single mom as well, I have 3 children. 2 are adult children. I have 7 grandkids too. If you follow me at all, or you're in any of my online courses and programs, you already know that. But I was trying to juggle the career and juggle motherhood and home ownership and all of those things. And, what was always on the back burner for me is that, I wasn't prioritizing my health. And maybe this is you too. Maybe you feel like you are a mom, or you're a dad, and you're like, or maybe you don't even have children, but you feel like are trying to like burn the candle at both ends. And, your body listens to you, and things, we won't dive into that too much, but your body listens to you, and it really tries to, protect you from perceived danger. And the way that manifested for me is, well, I was also, side note, was diagnosed with a fatal illness initially, and we worked through that. Thank God, I'm still here. But I ended up in the hospital for 11 days, and I was just really burnt out, and I needed a change. And during that time in the hospital, I really just wanted to, figure out, I always had a dream and a passion for being able to help people. And, I knew I had a lot, on paper, I had a lot of things that I was really skilled and talented and able to do, from marketing to training to operations management, sales leadership, all of that. But I wanted to figure out a way that I could then package that into an online course or coaching program, or some way to be able to help people around the world. And part of the vision back then, he was even thinking of speaking on stages, and I could just really visualize that for myself. And I know many fellow coaches and course creators as well have that vision for being able to help people in that way. And so I started doing my research as I was going through my healing journey of what was possible for me to be able to do that. So, moving from where I was before, and, that breaking point of where I moved after, I had that highly successful career. And maybe this is where you are too, if you are still in your 9 to 5. I felt like I had hit that glass ceiling as far as income, you know, levels were in my particular position, without moving out of state to be able to, go to that next level in my career for job advancement. It felt like and you're on salary as well. So it's like you work more, but you don't earn any more money. So I felt like that. I felt burnt out. I felt like, how am I going to do this for another 20 years? I felt like I had no options as far as going back to school or something like that, because, I was already working 50, 60 hours a week and a single mom, and going to college didn't seem like a feasible option for me. So that's when I did my research, and I found this unique model of online education businesses. So I took the plunge and I invested into my first mentor. Since then, I've gone on to work with several incredible, highly successful mentors, spent thousands of dollars learning this education. I'm a lifetime learner. I love learning and being able to, we always have gone by the no-show grow model. So it's like learning what you are, investing yourself in, applying it for yourself, and then teaching it to others and continuing to rinse and repeat. So the no-show grow model. So that's what I believe in. And since then, I started working with students in late 2019, and my life has completely changed. I've been able to completely create a business that works around my life, not the other way around. I started with zero audience. In fact, if this is you, I want you to know it's completely okay. I did not even know what Instagram was when I first started. Or Facebook groups. I didn't have a Facebook group, any of that. I had a Facebook profile, which I just shared family posts and quotes and things like that. But that was the limit of my social media. So I want you to know that if that's you, that's okay. We can build it. And then, from there, I was able to transfer my expertise into multiple digital products and services. So not only have I worked with one-on-one students in those one-on-one containers, but also group coaching programs and online courses and other digital products. So it will come, once you pick the vehicle and the business model that you want to grow into, you absolutely 100% can do this. I promise. If I can do it, you can do it. So I kind of mentioned already that as my evolution in my business changed, when I first started working with clients, I worked specifically with one-on-one clients. And let me know if you're watching this, or if you're watching the replay, go ahead and type replay or live in here, so I know where you were in watching this recording. But let me know, are you working with one-on-one clients? Are you group coaching programs? Have you done masterminds? Have you done any digital courses? Well, my business model evolved over time. So when I first started working with clients, I started working with clients one-on-one. And this allowed me to really clarify my offers even more, So I had like an overall sense of the transformation in the path that I was going to walk my students through. But as you like start working with one-on-one clients and you really understand, on a greater level, what steps really need to come in what order. Everybody comes to you with a different skill set and like predetermined strengths that, not predetermined, but skills that they have already acquired. And they're all at different levels. So some, may be beginners, some may be more advanced, or some may have a little bit of working knowledge in your particular profession. So they're all in different places. So really by working with one-on-one clients, I was able to really refine my offers and refine my signature methodology to then my next stage after working with one-on-one clients, and also realizing very quickly that at one-on-one clients, I capped out very quick, because again, when you're working with one-on-one clients, you only have so much capacity to work with students in a one-on-one space when you're still responsible for product development and marketing and sales and delivery. And maybe you're taking sales calls. I was taking sales calls back then, all of the things. So, and a mom and all of those things. So like there's only so much time in the day. So then I scaled up to group coaching programs. And so moving from that one-to-one model to a one-to-many model, that really helped me to leverage my time. And I really like that. And when you're working in group coaching programs, you can start them super scrappy to where, maybe your group coaching program, you're meeting like on a Zoom call, or maybe you're streaming live into like a Facebook group, or maybe, are more scaled and developed and you create an online portal, online learning management system. There's many different ways to get started into that. But I really recommend, like, before you start working with a group of people, that you work with one-on-one students until you can really get your offers refined and your system and your, steps all really working, and making sure as well that you're getting your students good results. Because then when you get your students good results, then you have testimonials and you have feedback from your students that you can then help to pour back into your offers and into your marketing to be able to do the selling for you. So I was working with group coaching, but I was still kind of like in that space where I was creating it as I was working with clients. So, first, when I was really new into group coaching, I would just prepare the particular lesson for that week, and the resources for that particular week that it was due. And then I would teach it live with my students, again, through like a Zoom call, and then put the recording in a Facebook group. And that worked. But I still kind of felt like, I always kind of felt like that, a little behind the eight ball there. And if anything, like if I had any kind of hiccup in the week, my daughter got sick or something happened with the dog, or, anything, then it caused a lot more pressure on me. So then I started pre-recording content. And this is kind of how, I started switching into mastermind programs. So I started kind of pre-recording some content and letting the content drip release on like a Monday. And then on a Thursday, I would work with my mastermind students. So those that graduated my group coaching programs and wanted further training and development, this is where we went into masterminds. And I did 90-day mastermind programs with clients that wanted to go further. But then I'll talk a little bit more about why then I got into digital courses and digital products. But that was the next evolution of my business. Then I started, I think about 2 years ago, I think now it's been 2 years, I started scaling into digital courses. And what happens is as you start moving from your one-on-one coaching to group to mastermind to digital courses, is that you've closed a lot of learning gaps here. So again, as you kind of first create your hypothesis of what that transformation is that you're helping people with, and what those steps are to be able to complete that transformation. So if you're starting with step A or point A and you're taking your students to point B, you'll have these stepping stones that you're taking your students through to be able to achieve that ultimate transformation. You're going to close a lot of learning gaps as you're working with people through these different phases. So the more learning gaps you close, the more robust your online course or coaching program is going to be, to where you can move it to a self-study digital online course. So ultimately, our ultimate goal is to make impact, right? To really help people to be able to get the transformation that is that you're helping them with. So sometimes jumping too soon to a digital course without really having a way to get feedback from your students can be often a mistake, and can help, your clients can maybe not get the results and falling off because you didn't realize where the learning gaps were. And that's why, and we'll talk about in a minute, why I created what I call a hybrid system to kind of like expedite this and close some of this gap to, again, working with, starting that cycle all over each time with each product, and how you can do that and have a hybrid approach to where you are still getting live feedback from clients. You're still able to assist them, but you can assist them at scale. So you're not kind of back in this one-on-one space. Because ultimately, if you reverted the model, your one-on-one coaching is actually your premium product in your value ladder, because your one-on-one time, your personal time, is the most premium thing you have. So this is where this becomes like working with one-on-one clients can be your top tier offer, because you are really capped at how many people you can work with in that capacity. So let me know if this is making sense so far to you. So I kind of mentioned a little bit about why another reason I wanted to shift in my business from not just doing one-on-one coaching, not just doing group coaching, but wanting to create digital online courses that could sell on autopilot, and not just sell on autopilot, but deliver on autopilot to my students. So I wanted a way to, when I was in corporate, we had these online courses, right? So every single month we had online courses that we needed to take to continue our education and our learning path. So these courses you would dive into and learn on your own. You'd schedule the time on your calendar and you would go in and take these classes, and there would be some quizzes at the end. And then, if you didn't pass it, you had to retake it, and so forth. So I was very familiar with online learning model. Well, I wanted to create a way to be able to do that. And one of the things that was kind of the trigger for helping me to really like bite the bullet and take on this learning curve and acquire this skill was a family crisis. So my father, a couple of years ago, was diagnosed with cancer, and not just one cancer, but he was diagnosed with two different types of cancer. And I really, my stepmother was not at the time in good health as well. And so our family and I came together and needed to find a way to be able to really support them through this time. And that meant like helping to take them to doctor's appointments, chemotherapy and radiation, and just help them in general with taking care of their house or their health needs. And this became even more prevalent the sicker he got. He passed away last August. So, and now my mom, unfortunately, my stepmother has now cancer. So this cycle is kind of repeating itself. But what that meant for me, for my business, is that I had to find a way to be able to make my offers, my programs and my services available 24/7, and to have systems set up in place to do the marketing and the selling for me 24/7, and have a mechanism to be able to enroll those students and then deliver that online course to them on autopilot. So I kept remembering everything that I had learned from my corporate days of online learning, as well as on all the different programs that I've invested in personally to continue my education and acquire my skills. And a lot of coaches that I worked with also had online courses. So that became the catalyst for me for why I needed to do this, because otherwise working in just with one-on-one clients, I don't like to use the word just, but staying in the one-on-one client business model or even the group coaching business model still was very time dependent on me. And I needed to find a way that I could still help my clients, help them at scale, and help them on autopilot. So that's what was the catalyst for me to be able to create this. And not just creating another job, but creating a business that could run on autopilot even when I'm at the doctor or even when I'm on vacation. Let's get it. Like, we're not just doing this for health crises. We want to create an online business for freedom and to be able to help more people and make a meaningful impact while caring for your family at the same time. So my solution was to be able to create digital scalable online courses and hybrid coaching programs. So we'll again dive in more and what that means to have a hybrid approach. And so that's what I did. So I started creating digital products. Here is my evolution: digital products. So the products not only help me to make the impact for my clients, and the products are set up in a learning portal, and I'll show you that in a minute, but they're set up in a learning portal. So my students, once they opt in and they pick their online course that they want to invest in, then immediately the automation is sent to them to send them all their credentials to be able to sign in and to be able to plug into the course immediately, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then it allowed me the time then to not have to worry about, being active in my business today to generate the leads and generate the sales, because essentially I've set up systems that do that for me and run on autopilot. And then I just have to spend a few hours each week really helping to, see what's working, what's not working, and what needs to be improved. So here's where we're moving from that, hustle phase to having a hybrid. So my love language here, or my model, and what I'm really building out and growing with in my business, is having a course, coaching, and community. So this is how you leverage with heart: is having your products, your online course, your coaching component. So it's your education, your coaching, and your community. I feel like those are the three pillars that help you to be able to leverage your expertise with heart and really caring about your students. So this is what, I created with having a hybrid model. Is one, you're not starting at zero. I want you to know that you're not starting at zero, because your experience is your best teacher. You come to the table, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, you come to the table with prerequisites. Like, you have skills and talents and expertise in particular areas that people are willing to pay money for, to be able to acquire that knowledge and those best practices and that methodology from you. Creating a hybrid really is where you're creating your online courses and digital programs, but you can also have a community to be able to service your students. So it helps you in many, many different ways. It helps you because you're helping them, right? So you have a place where your students can check in, and you get to define this in your particular offer. If you're having a community model with this, you get to define how often you're going to support this community and in what way you're going to support this community. So we'll dive into that deeper here in just a minute in the next slides, but you essentially get to choose, like, are you going to have a Facebook group? Are you going to build out a community on a school platform? How are you going to support them? Are you going to support them via email, Voxer, WhatsApp? Are you going to go live? Are you going to have Zoom calls? There's lots of different ways to be able to support your clients. But I want you to know that by leveraging this, you're being able to leverage your time without sacrificing your personal connection, right? Without kind of creating these courses in like a vacuum, right? Or in a cave. You're able to connect with your clients in real time and make sure that you have a place where they can come to ask their questions. And this is going to really help you stand out in the industry, because then you are letting them know that you really care, that you're really invested in the outcome that they are, wanting to achieve through working together with you. It also gives you a place to be able to get the results. So you can course correct real time because you're getting this feedback from your students on, what's working, what maybe seems clear to you, again, because you have these certain prerequisites that you bring to the table, and you can only estimate so much where your students are coming into it based on your experience, right? So where you were when you first started and acquired your transformation, what the problems were, the pain points were, your goals and desires were, that perspective from your own experience. So you can only close so many gaps there. But by working with others, again, they're going to have their own set of prerequisites that they're coming with, and you'll be able to help understand that even more when you are working with your clients, as well as you'll be able to get results, and achieve or gather testimonials and real-time feedback from your clients. So this becomes a really great ecosystem for you to be able to pour those testimonials and those case studies and those wins that your students are getting inside your online course, because you have a community that you're sharing it with. And in addition, it helps you to have an endless supply of content to be able to create in your business, to market and sell your business, because you can constantly refer to the different questions that you're answering for students. You can identify what the roadblocks are for your students, essentially, that they're going through, because you're going to start to recognize patterns, and you'll never have ideas. You'll never run out of ideas for content, because you'll constantly have this feedback cycle running for you that you can pull from. So that makes it really special. So here we're going to know that we can agree that we're not starting from scratch. You're starting from your experience of, and if I'll give you the Ultimate Course Creation Planner as well as a gift with this workshop today, and it'll walk you through in more depth how to really map out some of those ideas that you have. But looking at that and writing on your piece of paper, kind of thinking about some of the things that you're interested in, and mapping out, as I mentioned, even in my background of having a background in marketing and sales and customer service and training and development, there's so many, and that's high level. Like if you kind of break that down, and even what does marketing mean? What are all the hats that you wore or I wore in marketing and helped, from sales and from training and development, and start really funneling those down to be able to, land on one particular problem that you are most excited about solving. So grab that resource as well, because that will help you. So know that, you already know enough to be able to create an online course, to be able to create a signature system. You just need a container, right? You just need a container. You have the profitable course creation blueprint is your strategic guide to validate and launch your course that people are eager to pay for. So that's what you get to do here. So as we're diving into that, what we're going to be doing first is really diving into picking your profitable course idea. So the first thing I want you to do is avoid the number one mistake that new course creators make. And this is building this online course that nobody asked for, right? So this happens so much in this space where, maybe you've done this work and you've fleshed out all these different ideas and on how, the different courses that you want to create, and you've picked one, and then you just run out there and you create it. If you've done that, you're not alone. I've done it too. I've made that mistake. That's how I know it's a mistake. Don't do that. You want to make sure that you validate your course idea with the market before you actually build anything. And that you actually want to validate that it's a profitable idea with proven demand. And what does that mean? So let's dive in how we're going to do that, and how we're going to really validate our offer. So here we want to really look at the sweet spot here when we're looking about, choosing that profitable course topic. And this is where you're going to be marrying your experience. So on your piece of paper, maybe you've been taking notes here and you've kind of written down some of those different skills knowledge, expertise, results that you've been able to achieve in your personal life. The next thing we want to do is understand the market demand. So, what people are actively seeking help with. So, this is really, really important because we want to be able to put all of this together. We want to pick from your experience. We want to understand and make sure that there's true market demand for this particular online course topic, and that the transformation is worth paying for. That's another mistake a lot of new course creators make, or coaches as well, is picking something that it isn't tangible and that people aren't worth or willing to invest money in. Like, it'd be a nice to have versus a burning pain point problem that they really need to figure out how to solve right now. So you really want to have this trifecta, and all three, marrying your expertise, the market demand, and having it have a monetizable result that people are willing to invest in. And that's really going to be your sweet spot for creating an online course. So for discovering your unique you, think about, as you're kind of still maybe like flushing these ideas out, I want you to think about what's the thing that a lot of people come to you potentially in your space that they're constantly thanking you for, or they're asking for your help with. Like maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's somebody in the workplace that is, you're the go-to person for them for this particular problem. For me, people tend to come to me for help with marketing and sales, and, all of that in the online space, right? That's what I'm known for, is being able to help people market and sell their products and services online. So think about what that is for you. Maybe it is you have a unique way of being able to shed excess body weight in a very short period of time by eating a particular, maybe you're vegan, or maybe you are eating paleo diets, and you're able to do that and really stick to that and that lifestyle. And maybe on top of it, maybe it's in a budget friendly way, something like that. So thinking about that and thinking about where have you gotten results from that are impressive results. So, kind of going back through that history, kind of asking yourself, well, what are all of these wins that I've been able to achieve? And a lot of times, guys, it's not just like the big monumental things. It may be things that you just assume, like maybe, you're incredible with home organization, and, you just think everybody's like organized or would know how to do it if they wanted to. And that is really like, they've made whole TV shows around home organization or closet organization, because that's just not a skill that, most people have or want to go get an education on necessarily. They want a degree. They want the quick solution on how to be able to do that and how to be able to keep it that way. So that would make for a great online course. And then thinking about your natural talent. So what comes easily to you, but not others. Again, maybe it is you're super organized. Maybe you're very stylish and you just know how to dress people. I can think of several people in my circle that are the go-to, stylists per se. They're always dressing people. And when it comes to holidays, everybody, and their father comes to these particular people to ask them to buy gifts for their significant loved ones because they don't even know where to start, So kind of thinking about those things, what comes naturally to you. You don't even have to think about it. If somebody were to ask you to have a 30-minute presentation on it, you could just speak about it because it just comes natural to you. So those are great places to really start to flesh out your profitable course topic. And then you can also leverage AI. So you can prompt AI, you can prompt AI to help you to come up with course ideas based on your particular background in a particular topic. So if you've ever used tools like ChatGPT, and inside my signature online course Creators Academy, we have all of the course prompts for this to walk you through. But essentially you can go through with ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. All of those work fine. You can use a free version of those. and you can give it some background information on you is the kind of the best way to do it. And, you can just kind of talk to it like you're talking to, a good friend, and kind of give it some of the seed information to give a little bit of background information on, who you are, what your work experience is, your hobbies, different transformations that you've gone through in your own life. And then just start asking some specific questions to just basically say, like, what are 10 course ideas that I could teach based on my background in this? So for example, I could even plug in, if I were a health coach, I could plug in my past experience with living with POTS. So I have a condition called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and initially it affects the autonomic nervous system, so blood flow, and which affects your organs, things like that. And when I was really, really sick, I was in a space where, I was severely deconditioned. I was on leave of absence from work. I was on 18 different medications. Organs weren't functioning right, all of that. And since then, I did a whole bunch of research, from books to, a lot of reading online, blogs, articles, YouTube videos, all of the things, not to mention the countless doctor's appointments and all of those things that I went through during that time. But I've been able to reclaim my health and overcome that. I still have it, but I know how to manage it, and I'm not on medication anymore. And I do a lot of things each and every day to really support my, optimal health and well-being. So really I could, plug in everything that I went through that journey in that particular field and say, can you give me some ideas on some courses that I could teach based on my background in this? So what is that for you? And I've given you your prompt here that you can put in, but I want you to plug that in, give it a little bit of history to work with, so it kind of doesn't just spit out random things. It's going to give something that's specific to your experience. And then after that, you can ask it some more questions and prompt it to really refine the specific niches or problems that particular niche has. So once you've identified a course, you can then say, great, I like, if you maybe asked for 10, you're like, I don't really see myself teaching something in the 10 that it gave me. Can you give me 10 more? Or can you give it 20 more? You can keep drilling down to really find something that you can kind of get that gut response from, that you're really excited about and teaching. So you can then pick it, and then you can prompt it some more to really refine it and ask, who is this specifically for? And then help to further understand your ideal client. And if you want to look on my YouTube channel is Shannon Martell. I have a video, and I'll prompt it down here for you below, but I have a video on understanding your target market and picking your profitable niche. So this is where, when you're refining your results, then you can really start drilling down to understanding more about who the ideal clients are for that particular online course topic. So basically you're finding out who's a good client for this, and then you're diving in deeper to learn more about that particular client, what the pain points are, the problems are that person is experiencing, how they feel about it, and then also to understand what their goals are, to make sure that you're creating a product that helps to be able to solve that problem that they have and the outcome that they desire. And then you can evaluate these options. So once you've done that, let me know if you use any AI in your business. Now, if you use AI, give me a 1, or you can give me a yes. Or if you don't use any AI tools, give me a no. And that way I can kind of gauge based on where you're at. And we can do some more deeper training and how to use AI. I use these tools in my business every day. They're great for ideation and helping really expedite your course creation process. So this will really help you, leveraging the AI to be able to help choose your profitable course topic by doing that. And then really understanding like which ideas excite you and that have major market demand. So one thing you can do with Perplexity actually scrubs the web, is that real time, where ChatGPT, the large language model, was kind of built more on data from like 2 years ago. Perplexity and Claude are more live. Now, ChatGPT has plugins you can get basically that help you with AI search. You can turn those on and off. But Perplexity is really good too. And you can go and ask Perplexity to go scrub different forums. And we'll talk about those more in a minute. But like Reddit is a forum that you can ask it to scrub, and you can ask it to scrub the internet and things like that, places like that, to see if people are in the market for this particular product or service, if they're asking questions about it. So that helps you to very quickly be able to use an AI automated tool to be able to go do this research for you to help you really validate your offer. So that right there, that tip right there is going to save you hours, if not days, of research and validating your offer right there. So write that one down. So next, we're looking at validating your course. So here we want to make sure that when we're looking through it, you want to know, do you have real experience in this? You want to pick a topic. I mean, essentially, we can learn things and we can, teach what we learn, but you really want to have experience with this, or you're going to really struggle with it. And, this was me when I very first started. I can be just brutally honest with you that I, wanted to be a business coach from the very beginning, and I wanted to, teach what I was learning, right? That's what I did in corporate. We learned how to do something in corporate. It was train the trainer was the methodology. So we wanted to, learn it and then go out and we would teach immediately, even though we just learned it. And so I had that kind of mentality and that belief that I could really do that in the online space. And I struggled for a long time because I really hadn't acquired enough of the skill development. Maybe I could teach you the steps, but not necessarily the skill development to kind of help you refine at the time, what's working, what's not working, and how to course correct. So that really comes through experience. It comes through trial and error, through testing things yourself and refining them and improving them over time. So you will be far better off, trust me, you will be far better off in teaching something that you have proven experience with. It's also going to help you to be able to have a bank of stories. A lot of marketing and sales really converts because you connect with the person that is teaching you. You connect with the person that you're buying from, right? And it's their stories. If you think of some of the greatest influencers in the world, it's their stories that they're telling that you're connecting with and that you're remembering them by, and what really makes you align with a person or not align with their person, because you can see yourselves in their stories. So by teaching through proven experience, you're going to have a whole bank of stories, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember when, I went through that, and, here's what helped me, and here's how, I maybe made a mindset shift, or you developed a particular skill, or you used a particular tool. So mindset, skill set, tool set are other pillars to really creating a robust online course and coaching program. You'll have all of that by working from your experience. And then also, looking at, are people already paying for this? So you want to make sure when you're validating and choosing your profitable course idea that you're picking something that isn't like the first to market. You don't want to be the first to market with this, because the research isn't there, the buying dollars isn't there from the market to say, hey, nothing validates an offer more than somebody paying money for it. So if you can find an offer, you can choose an offer that is already out there in the marketplace that is similar to what you're wanting to teach. That people have already voted with their dollars that this is something that they're willing to invest money in to solve that particular problem. That's the sweet spot. That's where you want to start. That validates your offer like nothing else, right? So using Claude or Perplexity, again, can really help you understand that, as well as I'll give you some ways that you can validate that with the market that you have as well live. And then can you really clearly explain your transformation? So can you explain the transformation, where you are or where you were in your transformational journey before you had the outcome, so before you had the result? So can you really explain where you were, what you were experiencing? How did it show up in your life? How did it affect your family, your finances, your relationships, all of those things? And then where you were after experiencing this particular transformation, and then being able to clearly explain the steps that you took to get from point A to point B. This is the ingredients that you need to really validate your course offer. So it's a proven experience, the existing market, making sure that it's not the first to market. You want to make sure that there are other offerings and services out in the marketplace that people have voted with their dollars and invested money in to solve that particular problem, and that you have a clear transformation and you can really talk people through that so you know how to be able to help them in that course. So market listening, we talked a little bit about this a minute ago with how you can use Perplexity to do this. But you can also, if you don't use AI, you don't have to use AI to do this. You can go out on to Reddit, and that's a social media or a platform, a forum that people go to, and they have real-time conversations. So you can do some social listening and some market listening and kind of just be like that fly on the wall and go in, type in some keywords into Reddit that are related to your particular problem that you're solving, and see what those conversations are and start collecting those conversations. Maybe you're keeping a Google Doc or a Google Sheet and start collecting some of that data, which is gold, because then not only are you collecting it to validate your offer, but that you can also then repurpose that into your marketing. And we'll get into that. And we get into that much more in Course Creators Academy, but you can use that in your marketing. You can also do this in Facebook groups. So Facebook groups where people are hanging out around the problem that you solve or that you want to solve. So if, for instance, you're helping people to be able to lose weight, you would want to go into groups that focus on, weight loss or healthy living, those types of things, or where those particular subset of people are more likely to be hanging out. And then you can, kind of look for the conversations that they're having around those topics. You can identify what these repeated questions are or frustrations that people are, commonly talking about. And that will help you to identify like some real issues that people are having that they would be willing to invest money in to solve. You can check in YouTube. So you can YouTube or even Amazon. You can check in the comments below videos. You can check in the comments, even if you're like on Amazon, and different books around the particular topic that you're solving. And you can kind of look at those 4 and 5 star ratings, see what people are saying. And then you also want to look at the 1 and 2 ratings and see what people are saying and talking about, what worked, what they got out of the book, or what they felt was missing from the book or the course or the video or so forth. That will give you some real live time feedback. And Quora is another platform as well that you can go to identify these trending topics in your particular niche. So just know that real world conversations equal your proof of demand, right? And that's what we're really trying to do here. This whole point of this particular exercise is to really validate your offer so you know that you have a profitable offer that people are willing to invest money into to be able to solve. So your course here, once you have understood that, then we really want to create your course compass or your I help statement, what we call. So when we're going through this, now that you've got your transformation and you understand who you're solving the problem for, who that ideal client is, and you understand the steps that you're going to take them through to be able to get from point A to point B, you want to come up with a I help statement. So essentially, this is who you are helping. So it's that specific audience, whether, again, you have gained that from social listening and your market listening on social media or in the forums, or if you used Claude AI or Perplexity AI to help you identify your niche. That's who it is. It's the person that is the right person for the problem that you're solving. And then their pain. So you're who you are, who you're helping them with. I'll just kind of give you the formula. It's I help who to go from what to what. So the A to B, from the pain to the result, using your methodology, right? Using your system. So it's your ideal client, as we've referred to, what they're struggling with. So what's the main pain point or problem that they want to solve? The more specific you can get, having that one pain point, that one overall, or not one pain point, but the overall one transformation, one problem you're solving, and then what the result is. So this is your A, this is your B, that's who that person is, and then this is your method. So I help, for me, I help online coaches, course creators, and service providers to turn their expertise into a profitable online course or coaching program using my signature system blueprint methodology. So that would be an example of what my I help statement is. So you can practice this here, and also for some bonuses, you can go into ChatGPT and you can help with prompts with that. So once you've gone through understanding and kind of fleshing out your, different course ideas, and then you've gone through ChatGPT and you've understood who the ideal client is for that, you understand more about them and the methodology you're helping them with, then you can also ask ChatGPT or AI to help you formulate your I help statement. Now, I teach in Course Creators Academy to really make sure that it's a tangible problem that you're solving. So almost like if you kind of think of SMART goals, where they're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're relatable, they're time bound or relevant and time bound, having something that paints a picture. So for instance, if you are, we'll just use weight loss coach. If you're a weight loss coach and you're helping people to drop 50 pounds of excess body weight in a specific period of time, maybe you're doing that in 6 months or, a year. I don't know what, I'm not a health coach, so I don't know what the time frame would be on that. Using your signature methodology for achieving that result and being able to keep it off, then it's measurable, right? It's specific. So it's a amount of weight that you're helping them lose, and it's specific and it's time bound. It's in a time period, and it gives your solution, your signature methodology, and how you're teaching that. So when you're thinking of that, and you can also, I'll give you my Facebook group that I'd invite you to come in and join, the Course Creator Collective, to be able to join, and you can bring your ideas there if you'd like some feedback on that, or you can drop them below this YouTube video as well and drop your different ideas for your I help statement. So remember, it's I help who. So who are you helping? What problem are you solving? What's the result you're helping them to get to? And what is your methodology, your signature methodology? And then again, you can use ChatGPT to be able to help you create that I help statement. So another way of thinking about this is like elevator, like what's your elevator speech or what's your tagline? So if you were, we say elevator speech, but if you were like at a dinner party, or, somebody asked you what you do, rather than just saying I'm a health coach, you can say, oh, I help people to be able to lose excess body weight in, 90 days with my signature weight loss system. So that clearly paints a picture of what it is you do and how you help people and who. So as well too, when people are thinking about referring you, maybe clients and sending you leads and so forth, they know exactly who to send you because they know what you do, who your niche is, who you specialize helping, and the outcome. So it paints a clear picture rather than just saying I'm a health coach. That can be vague and lofty and fluffy, and people don't really know what do you do as a health coach. So you want to make sure that you're really clear with that. All right, how are you doing? Let me know if you have any questions. You see, I've got several of you still joining here live with me. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll pop them up on the screen by anything we've covered so far. All right. So now that we have mapped out our profitable course idea, our next step here is to map out the course. So to map out the 3 to 5 steps, really, maybe you need more, maybe not. I don't recommend too many more for an online course, because if you get it too big, then, people want fast results, but ultimately, there's not really a right or wrong here, other than I would say, don't have too many modules, because maybe it's more than one course, right? So Course Creators Academy, for instance, and in my product suite, Course Creators Academy, and let me just see if I can show you an example here. Let me get to tape. this down. Let's see if this worked. Okay. So for Course Creators Academy here, what the ultimate transformation here for this, and this is kind of how I invite you to think about your online courses and how many steps that you put in your particular courses. But the transformation here is teaching you how to design, develop, and run your own profitable and engaging online course or coaching program. So this is about building the online courses themselves and teaching you how to then market them. The next stage is then how to market and sell them. So you kind of created a plan here, but then this really gets into the nitty-gritty of how to market and sell your online courses. So once you've created them, then how do you start scaling your business with various marketing tactics and techniques to be able to scale your business? So here's where we go into creating lead magnets and either utilizing free traffic or paid traffic, in creating your visibility strategy to be able to get this traffic and content and so forth. So you've got your social media marketing, your content marketing, and so forth. So this is everything about really being able to market and sell your online courses. And then the next phase for my clients that they move into is the Signature System Blueprint. And this is the online course. And when you're a member of Signature System Blueprint, you get everything here. But what this does is teaches you how to then scale it. So how to take your signature methodology and build out multiple products and services in your product suite to be able to, kind of how I was talking earlier, to not only help people that are just coming into your customer journey or your sales funnel at the, like, helping them for free, helping them in low ticket offers, helping them in mid ticket offers, on and up to your highest premium tier offer in your value offer is going to be your one-on-one packages, because again, your time is the premium, right? So this is kind of how I want you to think about it. Now, if I put it all in one, this would be a couple year course to be able to achieve this transformation, and it would not be as transformative for people because it's too big, right? So that's the purpose of showing you this, is you want to make sure that your course is specific to really solving one main problem, having one main transformation, one main outcome. So let me know if you have any questions about that. Let me see, switch back to my slides somehow. Let me see if I can find my slides here. My slides go, I think, over here. Okay, I think I figured it out. Yay! Sometimes a little tech challenged. I have 3 monitors going, so I'm trying to figure out which monitor I was on. All right. So does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. All right. So again, thinking about your profitable course topic idea. So then you want to map out the 3 to 5 steps to be able to take to achieve that particular transformation for your students. So kind of thinking about the point A, where they're at before working with you, the point B of where they're at and the result that they're going to get after having completed your online course, and thinking about the steps that they need to be able to take to achieve that transformation. So don't overteach here. Don't stuff it, just to be putting in more content. People want quick, easy results, right? So I want you to focus on results, not information. Focus on results. So here is kind of, as we're thinking about that journey and that roadmap, you want to start with the end in mind. So thinking about what the desired result is that your ideal client wants and that you're helping them with, and then map it backwards. So like, what was the last thing you did in your journey to be able to achieve the result? And then what did you do before that step? And what did you do before that step? And before you know it, you will have reversed engineered the entire A to B journey in a couple of steps. So again, 3 to 5 steps makes for a nice, like, mini course. I have courses, the signature course or signature system showed you the wrong one. The signature course launch system takes you through 12 different modules because it is more advanced in helping you to be able to scale your business. And it is a very long, intensive course. So making sure like you break it up. And if it does require 12 modules with the steps to go through, then certainly do that to be able to get them that transformation. But if you can break it up and have like, you know, mini transformation basically, and then create an additional course for that next step, that is going to be ideal for you to be able to do that. So the transformation path example here. So in your particular transformation, I want you to think about your idea. So this is where you validated your profitable course topic. And then the next step here is this is for a course creator. So it's these essentially like if we're creating an online course that teaches you how to create an online course, this is the transformation path example. So it's teaching the students this first step or first module would be all about ideation and validating your online course topic and really being able to flesh out your experience, market demand, and making sure that this is something that you know you can really speak from your experience. And then two, the second module could look like building out the offer. So this is really structuring your solution and really helping to create the not only the A to B journey, but then really mapping it out and defining what the learning objectives is for the course, and then creating all of the different lessons for all of the modules and understanding what the learning objectives are for the modules, for the lessons, creating all of the content, putting the whole thing together, the different tangible resources that go with it, and so forth. And then the third piece of it could look like the tech. So all of the different tech that is necessary to be able to create an online course. So you could go into, you know, teaching things like using StreamYard, using Zoom, hosting on, you know, for instance, on YouTube, to going into your payment gateways, like what the different payment gateways are, what the delivery mechanisms look like from, you know, using a CRM to like a MailerLite or an active campaign for an email service provider to be able to deliver that content. And then where is that content going to live? So you could look at utilizing free Facebook groups. You could use even in a Google Doc or a Google Sheet, you can host a course in like a PDF version, or you can do an email course where you're drip feeding emails to your clients at a particular time with the content shared within those emails. And then going into sales. So that would be a transformation pathway, thinking about like how are they going to launch it, and then how are they going to be able to launch it with confidence. So that's an example pathway for an online course around teaching how to create online courses. So thinking about that for you, like what are some of those main milestones that your students would need to be able to go from like that point A to that point B, where they are before working with you and where they are working with after working with you in your online course. From there, then you are going to then name your modules, and ChatGPT is really helpful with this as well. Once you understand what those kind of steps are, and again, each step you take, you can refine that with ChatGPT. And in Course Creators Academy, I give you all of the prompts to walk you through how to really sharpen this and how to really make sure that your ideas are mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive, is making sure that, you know, there's no overlaps and that things are progressing in the right sequential order that makes sense for the majority of the people that are going through there. So you can help, ChatGPT can help you do that, and we give you all of the prompts for that. But then you can also use it to help you create the names of all of your modules. So here is where you want to marry verbs with outcomes. So this helps your learners be able to understand, you know, what's in it for them. Why do I need to take this, you know, course? Why do I need to invest time and energy into doing this particular module? Because they understand the outcome of it. So for instance, when we're talking about your idea, that could be validating your idea. For the sales module, it could be launch with confidence. So here, you know, just knowing by the module titles, it paints a picture in your learners' heads of what they're going to be able to achieve by the end of taking that module. So start with action verbs, focus on the particular outcomes at that module. And this works for your course too, when you're naming your course. Be very clear in that specific outcome that your course is providing. Be specific, validate your idea, not just validation. And then launch with confidence. It creates an emotion. So the confidence piece is an adjective. So it creates an emotion for how they're going to feel by achieving that particular outcome. Then you also want to build snackable lessons. So as we're looking, we're in, again, milestone 2 here, where we're developing your course outline and format, your course structure. You want to have snackable lessons. So in each module, say you have 3 to 5 modules, then you're going to have lessons and teaching points within each module. So if you kind of think about a module as a mini A to B transformation, is how I like to teach it. It has a mini pain point or problem, and it has a mini transformation. And then there are a couple of steps in between that little gap, your overall big gap of your course, but it's a little gap in that particular module that teaches how to take these particular steps to get that particular outcome. So making sure that it's one clear concept that you're teaching in that particular lesson, and then you give them an immediate action step so they can apply what they've learned and really test their knowledge, your students' knowledge, to make sure that they're comprehending what you're teaching them. And then it also gives them a quick win, because especially when you're going through a journey, like that could be 6 weeks, 12 weeks, a year long, depending on how long your online course and coaching program is. We want to feel like we're seeing results, right? So it's kind of like going to the gym. If you keep lifting weights and lifting weights and lifting weights and you're seeing no progress, you're kind of like, oh, why am I even doing this? So if you start to build in ways that your students can get quick wins by completing the action steps and really applying what they've learned, and even better if you can have them be able to bring these wins, post their action, their homework, in like a support community where you're supporting your clients and you can give them feedback. And that, they can also get feedback from their peers. It doesn't necessarily have to be all from you. That helps to build community, and it helps to build confidence, and that they're, building success, and they're one step closer to achieving the ultimate transformation that your course provides. So an example module here would be, your module is create your offer. Your lesson is define your promise. And then the action is to write an offer summary. So thinking about, again, the overall module, what's the mini A to B, mini pain point, mini problem that module is solving? And then what are the lessons that are required in that particular module to get that outcome? And what action do they need to be able to take to be able to get that transformation? And again, you can use your friendly AI tool, your favorite tool, whether it's ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Claude AI. Those are just a few that I particularly work with. You can have it also help you to structure a 4-module outline for your course. So if you've got your transformation, who you're helping, you can ask it to be able to help you structure a 4-module, 5-module, whatever you decide on, how many steps that they need to be able to achieve. You can ask it to help you structure it to get from the pain point to the result. And then again, refine it to match your tone and voice. So you want to make sure as you're creating this that it sounds like you, right? It's in your language. And if you've done a lot of seeding within ChatGPT by kind of pre-filling all of this information out that we've been going through in this particular course, then it kind of knows how you're talking. So ask it to stick to your tone and voice and speaking in a way that resonates with your ideal clients, and really help you to map out these modules. And that will help you to work quicker and faster in doing that. All right, so we are at milestone 3. How are you feeling? I know we are a little past time. I figured by the time we finish this, we were going to be closer to an hour and a half to 2 hours by the time we do Q&A. So I want to make sure we are giving you every single thing that you need to not only create your profitable course idea, to map out your course curriculum and really understand the modules, the lessons, and the tangible resources that you're giving your clients to help them get results. And now the third promise I made to you is pre-selling your course before you build it. So You don't need to have a finished product. You don't need to go and create all of this content, record all these lessons, create all the tangible deliverables, put it in a nice shiny portal. You don't need to have all of that done before you actually sell it. So that is what is really excited, is that you can get paid to create your online course. So if you're excited about that, tell me excited, drop excited below in the chat. Let me see who's excited and wants to learn how to do this. And if you have any questions so far, go ahead and let me know that too. All right, so sell before you build, start earning, then refine. So you don't need, again, to have a finished product. You don't need to have created your whole entire online course and set it up and all of the things before you have sold it. You just need to have a vision. You need to have a vision and a plan so you can present that to your ideal client. And so you can, present a validated offer to your ideal client so you can start getting students in and help co-create it with them together. So why pre-selling? So let's look at that. So pre-selling is going to validate your course idea. It's going to confirm that people they actually want what it is that you are offering before you spend months and months creating it. It's going to fund your creation. So it's going to generate income for you that you can reinvest into better tools and resources and marketing, especially if you're doing paid marketing and maybe you're running ads on Meta, to be able to generate traffic to these offers and be able to scale them quicker. Then you're going to be able to put some of those resources back into your marketing up front before you've even created it. And it's going to build momentum because, having people that are excited to work with you, having deadlines for you to be able to get things done creates a sense of urgency, and it helps to be able to make your launch go faster and easier and smoother, having all of this positive energy around your launch, because you've got people have voted with their dollars. They said yes to your course. They're ready and waiting for you to launch this baby and to create it with them. And people love to be part of a founding member with offers. They love to be in there with you. This is the time that they're going to get more time with you now in your beta offer than ever before. You're going to be more accessible. You're going to be more hands-on with them because you're going to be really making sure that you've dotted all the I's and you've crossed all the T's to make sure that you have closed all those learning gaps inside that online course to make it the best course possible, right? So having this foundation with them and having them in as foundational members or founding members is a great space to be in. So you're going to choose your format of delivery here. So kind of thinking about some of the other decisions you need to make. You want to understand whether you're going to teach this live. So we've talked about this before. You can do live Zoom workshops. So you can, have the software for Zoom, and you can set up workshops where you can invite your students on the particular workshops and teach them live. You can do it on StreamYard, like what I'm doing here on StreamYard, where I am teaching this particular workshop now, and it is being streamed live to YouTube and other platforms. So I'm teaching it live. I can bring in students live as onto the chat like we're doing here. You can bring them in live so you can have real-time conversations with your students as you're going through. You can also host them in Facebook or school communities. So instead of necessarily going out and building a full online learning management system, maybe you're not ready for that yet, or you don't want to invest the time in the learning. You maybe have a learning curve there to be able to learn the tech to be able to do that. I have mine built out on WordPress, and I use MemberPress to be able to host all the online courses. So definitely a learning curve, but you definitely, that's your long-term vision to be able to get there. So everything is on autopilot and manages it. It's all managed there. Then you have some other options where you can do email courses. As I've mentioned before, you can, invest in an email marketing tool. So maybe it's MailerLite, maybe it's MailChimp, ActiveCampaign. There's several of them out there, and you can pre-record your modules and your lessons, and you can drip feed them through email delivery. So your student would get an email specific times, like if you're doing it once a week or however that time frame is for you, that the content then is embedded in the email. Maybe it's hosted on a private YouTube channel or unlisted YouTube video, and then you share it. And I'll teach you all of this in Course Creators Academy, but you share it in an email essentially, and that's how your student gets it. You can also do voice coaching in Voxer or also WhatsApp. So that's another great way to be able to support your students. I have many students in those particular channels that I can support real time, so they can ask their questions. And then, you can also build parameters around like, what your hours of availability are through those particular channels, how long the questions can be, that type of thing. So you don't feel overwhelmed and get too busy with that. You can also have pre-recorded video modules. So StreamYard, you can also pre-record content as well. And then you can drip release in the different places that you're in. So you want to choose based on your comfort level. So kind of thinking about what your comfort level is with a particular skill or tool or software. So thinking about that, thinking about your audience's preferences. So one thing my audience really prefers is having self-study online content. So they have the ability to log into my online course portal 24/7 at their own flexibility and time zone, because we're all in different time zones, and be able to plug into the content. But then they also have the Facebook group support for the community and for the coming to ask questions and live coaching and all of those things. So kind of looking at the, knowing what your audience's preferences are and then what your tech capabilities are, and make some decisions there. Then you're going to start with the what. So you want to start with the single solution beta. So this again is the simplest way to be able to help somebody with the particular problem that you're solving. It's where you've painted that vision, you've pre-launched it, you've sold your online course to students, and then you create it with them. And then move up to a multiple module program where you have a structured learning path with several components. So like when you're working with one-on-one people, one-on-one client containers, you will have that structure and that outline, but you might skip and move around. Again, as I mentioned, everybody has different prerequisites that they come with. So, some may be more advanced, some may be more beginner. So you can kind of tailor it to your particular learner based on that. And then when you start working with a program, you can have more of a structured learning path. So it kind of depends on not only your audience, but the offer that you're solving or providing. And then you can have a full course ecosystem like I have. So it's a comprehensive solution with multiple formats. So this is where, you can have the self-study version. You can have a live component where you do live coaching. You can have a Facebook group or school community where you've got the community piece. So it's the trifecta of the content, the coaching, and the community, which is like your three-legged stool of really creating a robust course. So begin with a focused solution to solve one specific problem, and you can expand on that later and after proving your concept. So once you've started working with some students, then you can get proof of concept, and then you can continue to scale it and refine it over time. So craft your beta offer. So again, we've worked with our target audience. We've clearly identified who that target audience is that your solution is going to help. We've mapped out the transformation. So there's the specific before and after change. So where your students were before working with you and where they are after working with you, the results that they're getting. You're going to then pick a start date. So because you're working with students in a beta capacity, you're going to have a start date of when you're going to deliver the first bits of content. So you want to go ahead and map that out and let your students know, for instance, if we are at April 20, in April, say your course is going to start May 1st, then you want to give them a set period of time. So you can let them know, when can they expect to work with you? Maybe you're going to do live coaching on Tuesdays. And the training drops on Tuesday. So your educational piece. And then on Thursday, perhaps you have a live coaching component where you have Q&A calls. So that's completely depends on you, your course, the outcome, what you want to deliver there. And then how are they going to be delivering or receiving your teaching? So again, are they going to get it through a Google Doc. And I teach you in Course Creators Academy how you can deliver a course in a Google Doc or a Google Sheet, or that's kind of like your no cost delivery mechanism, or it's in a Facebook group, or it's in a school membership or so forth, or maybe you have an online learning portal like I have with WordPress and the MemberPress plugin to be able to host it on WordPress, or maybe LearnDash, or there's several other, I'm trying to think, Podia, I think, is another one. I just forgot the name of the ones I'm trying to think of. There's several of Teachable's another one. There's several learning platforms out there. The one I work with, two of my coaches actually developed the conversion funnel blueprint, and they have incredible service. So it's all based on WordPress, and it's built out on WordPress, but it's their solution for all of the funnels and the online courses themselves. So I can send you the link too if you want some more information on that. All right, so your simple beta. So we've talked about the attention grabber. So here, when you're creating your simple beta messaging, remember you're going back to your I help statement. So you're helping who go from what pain point and problem to what outcome with your particular signature solution. And now you have a start date. So say, for instance, you're starting on May 1st, or maybe it's June 1st. And you're going, you have a specific time frame. So maybe it's a 6-week course, or it's an 8-week course, kind of thinking of that. I wouldn't go longer than 12 weeks with a course itself. And then you're going to have some pricing. So you want to kind of think about that pricing that you're going to have. So, or here I even put, like, we start July 5th. Early access is at $197, want in. So that's basically the construction of that particular offer you're making. It's, you got something exciting you're going to share. So you're going to paint the vision, who it's for, what that vision is for that particular transformation, what that timeline is. So you want to have it time bound, when we're going to start, what they can expect, how often they're going to be, receiving your course from you and working with you, what kind of container, and then you're going to give the beta pricing. And this is usually a fraction, which is another reason a lot of people like beta offers, because it's a fraction of the cost that it normally is to work with you. So for instance, maybe you're doing it 50% off for the beta version of your online course. So again, they're getting it 50% off. They're never going to get more access to you to really help to make sure that they're getting the results that your outcome provides. And they get to be one of the founding members and help to shape your offer. So I want you to know that it's as easy as this to be able to create your profitable offer, like choose your profitable course topic, create the outline, create the vision for that particular topic. So here's where we created your course outline, the modules, the lessons, what's going to be included each lesson, and the tangible deliverables that are going to go to help your students be able to take action and implement what you're teaching them. And this is your beta offer. So it's as simple as that. You're helping who go from what to what. So pain point to outcome. So here's an example: go from overwhelmed to start earning their first 1K. I would, even get this sharper here. You can, go from overwhelmed, not being able to choose an online course idea, to achieving your first, sales in your business, right? By creating an online course in the next 30 days and enrolling students. So the clearer you can get, again, it makes it time bound, it makes it relevant, it makes it measurable, that people can really sink their teeth into and know that that's what they're paying for when they invest in your course. And again, the start date and the dollar amount. So here you want to be able to promote without complex funnels. So some ways that you can help, now that you have your offer, right? That's what we just created, your offer, your beta offer. You can start promoting it without creating full-blown sales pages very easily. So kind of think about where you already show up, where maybe you already have people that could be potentially good candidates for your online course or coaching program. So maybe you're on Instagram, so you can create a poll on Instagram, in your stories, and ask who wants help with this particular topic. You can send direct messages to all of the people that voted, yes, I'd love information on that particular topic. And you can reach out to them personally where they have shown interest and help to promote, pitch your offer to them. You can go into Facebook groups where you're allowed to promote your offer in communities where you are active. People kind of know you. You've been that social listener. You've been, maybe diving into conversations, providing some feedback to start to build your authority in your specific area of expertise. So people are starting to recognize you and want to know more about you. If you have an email list, then you can send a simple message, an email message out to your list to let them know that you have an exciting new offer and you're specifically, launching it and, maybe extending a special pricing to maybe just your email list, right? So maybe as that can be a gift to your email list because they're an active subscriber on your list and you're offering them this special pricing for members only on your email list. So the 5-step pre-sale methodology here is to invite participants. So it's invite, enroll, deliver, gather, and refine. So let's break each one of those down into the 5 steps of the pre-sale methodology. So first, you're going to use your simple script, and you can again use ChatGPT. I give you all of the step-by-step prompts for ChatGPT and Course Creators Academy, but you can help to refine that I help statement and your beta pitch basically into having this simple script to be able to attract the right people. Then you're going to enroll early adopters. So you can use create a simple checkout through Stripe or PayPal to be able to collect money. This is your provider to be able to receive money into your bank account. So you're going to collect payment to be able to gather this initial information. Then you're going to deliver your beta. So you're going to teach your content in the simplest format possible the first time around. So this is just your beta offer. This is your minimal viable product that you're going to be teaching your students, that you can then gather this feedback from all of your participants. What worked, what didn't work, what needs improvement, where do you have gaps that you need to be able to close those learning gaps. And then you can refine this and to enhance your full online course. And once you've taught this a couple of times, once you've really perfected this online course and you've closed all the learning gaps, then you can turn this into an evergreen scalable online course that sells on autopilot 24/7, right? Because you can feel confident in that you've closed all the gaps as much as possible, that you have students that have gone through your beta program and have gotten incredible results working with you. And that then you can use those testimonials and case studies in your sales and marketing to be able to sell this on autopilot. So your course evolution here, kind of what we were just talking about, is you start with your beta. So this is your simplest delivery. It's got all of the live elements. It's very high touch and support, lower price point. And then you move to your version 1.0. So this is a more polished online course. It's got a clearer structure because maybe you had module 4, initially that particular step as module 4, but maybe it needs to be module 3. Like when you started working with clients, you realized that step needed to be moved around. Or maybe one of the lessons belonged in a different module, or maybe you needed another module altogether because you needed to elaborate particularly more on a topic that, you didn't realize that your students needed more help on, right? So when you do your version 1, then you have a more polished, clearer structure for your online course and a tested delivery method. And then again, you move into your evergreen scalable course. So this is where it's fully automated. What I have with my ecosystem, everything is fully automated. It's self-paced. It's scalable. You set up some systems and some automations to be able to sell it at scale. So everything in my system and what I teach in Course Launch Mastery Society is using different paid marketing strategies and organic marketing strategies to have leads coming into your business 24/7 on autopilot, and then systems, nurture sequences set up in place to convert those ideal clients that are the perfect fit for your programs and services there. So it's less dependent on you to be showing up, and you can be in your zone of genius and in product development and teaching your online course students. So my evergreen course strategy or course story here, as I mentioned before, like I really needed to come up, when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, I really needed to come up with a way to create more time freedom in my life and business. So I created my evergreen online course and it replaced my one-on-one income. But I still, again, wanted that piece where I had the touch with my students. So that's where I have all of evergreen. You can go into my courses purely self-paced without the component, or you can also come to the group coaching programs where we have the group connection, community, live coaching, where you can have a place to come and ask all of your questions. That's the thing that's missing in a lot of online courses that don't have that, is that you don't know where your blind spots are because you don't have anybody to ask questions of. Like, are you doing this right? Did you understand it right? Can you help, take a look at my course outline to make sure it makes sense? Can you help me with my marketing? Those types of things. So that's how I was able to, figure out, like, helping people to get results, having my business being able to run on autopilot for me. But I want you to know, like, you want to really think about what it is, the vision ultimately that you want for your business. Why do you want to create a business? Why do you want to have freedom in your life? Knowing, your own energy, what works best for you. Do you have any physical conditions that, having an evergreen scalable system in place that runs on autopilot for you to generate leads and sales on autopilot would really help you, because it's going to free up some time. Why do you want that, right? Is that something you're excited about having in your business, and why, and how would that really change things for you? So what is next here? So here's what you've been able to achieve so far. If you're still with me, and I congratulate you for still being with me, you've come a long way. By implementing what you've learned here, I'm just checking for comments here, by implementing everything that you've learned here, by the end of this, by taking action, just listening to this, being another workshop that you've attended, without taking action, you're not going to be any further than where you were, maybe knowledge-wise, but not with having tangible outcomes. So what you've learned on today's workshop is how to validate your profitable course idea, how to structure your content, and how to create a pre-sale strategy in your business to really start enrolling students and getting money. The number one way to validate an offer is to receive money for that particular offer, and then you get paid to create. There's no better way to create than to get paid to create, because you're excited, your students are excited. It puts urgency behind those particular offers to get them done, because you have people waiting on you. So let me know. I want to celebrate you if you've come this far, if you've taken the steps. Again, if you want any feedback on any of these particular steps, go ahead and bring them over to Course Creators Collective, or drop them here in the chat below, and we will be happy to answer any of your questions. So kind of what I was just saying. So share your plan. Let us know what your course idea is and the strategy that you are going to be using to pre-sell it. So are you going to put a poll on Instagram? Are you going to send an email to the list? Are you going to post it in Facebook groups that allow promotion? Like, where are you going to start asking people and gaining interest? Are you going to, like, once you've gotten people engaging with your poll, are you going to reach out in the DMs and start direct messages and start a conversation with them and invite them to join you in your beta program? You can get live support, so attend our upcoming live Q&A to be able to get personal guidance. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you a bonus Q&A so you have time to do your homework over the weekend and implement everything that we've learned. Post it inside Course Creators Collective Facebook group, and then I will host a live Q&A to go through all of your questions live with you, so you have an opportunity to get real feedback and to really make sure that you have a validated offer and a clear constructed course outline to be able to get your students good results. Then you're going to collect your feedback. So once you start working with students, you're going to collect your feedback and based on your approach, and also be able to get peer suggestions. So when you're posting inside Course Creators Collective, you'll be able to get suggestions from other students who are going through this course as well as, potentially identifying ideal clients that, want that offer that you're offering. So you want to take action, you want to implement, and you want to start building your course legacy business today. All right, so that leads us up to Course Creators Academy. So this is the roadmap. Everything that I've walked you through and so much more that I've put inside of Course Creators Academy is everything that I wish that I had when I started. I help you launch your course in a way that's clear, it's profitable, and aligned without overwhelm. So here we work through inside Course Creators Academy. We have 6 different modules that walks you through step by step. Let me just get on that page. Walks you step by step, the exact steps to take that idea in much more depth. We dive way deep in there on how to validate your course topic, how to outline your course topic and design. We walk you through, and let me just share the page here. We walk you through, this is Course Creators Academy. So when you come into Course Creators Academy, you automatically get access to all of the curriculum here. So you've got your introduction. We have module 1, which walks you through the course topic. Am I sharing? I'm not sharing. Oh yeah, I am sharing. Walks you through how to outline your course topic, how to create effective and engaging content for your online course, then how to prepare and plan for your online course delivery, and then how to run your online course and make sure that you're getting results for your students, and then how to follow up and improve your course over time. And then it has a lot of different resources as well in here that I've given you every single resource that I wish I had that's going to save you thousands of hours of time and energy and money to be able to just snag any of these resources to help you implement quicker and faster and create a professional and polished online course. Let's see, go back to my slide deck. I think I got it. All right. So here you're going to learn how to design. It's design, develop, and launch. So in the design phase, it's 3 phases. You're going to validate your course idea, and you're going to craft an irresistible offer that students can't refuse to be able to invest in. Step 2 is that you're going to develop. So you're going to create content quickly. So I give you all of my tips and tricks on how to create your online course curriculum. Much I've already kind of like high level talked about by using AI tools that help you to be able to create a mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive course structure, and all of your course outline, all of your learning objectives, and then what you're going to put in each module and each lesson, and help you to be able to create the resources very, very quickly. I've got a lot of hacks that we use to be able to create this, especially utilizing AI tools to help you create them quicker. Plus, I give you all of the templates to create your workbooks and all of your marketing materials and so forth. And then you're going to launch. So you're going to implement selling strategies that actually work even with a small audience. When I first launched, I had no audience really. I had my personal Facebook group my personal Facebook page when I first launched. And with my first coach, I opened up a small Facebook group and had less than $200 or 200 people in there when I started selling out my one-on-one program. So you don't need a big audience to be able to start making money in your online course business. It provides everything that you need to succeed. So you've got step-by-step trainings. Everything is already queued up, ready to go for you to dive in immediately today when you join. It's got pre-written templates for you to be able to implement. So it's copy and paste my templates, customize them, and tweak them to make your own. It's got all of the tech tutorials to teach you how to set up all of the tech that you need to be able to set up your payment systems, your marketing systems, and all of the software that you need to be able to create and deliver an online course. It has coaching and accountability for you. So it's got a private Facebook community for you to be able to join other course creators in your going through the course that are in different stages of the course process as well. So you can get live feedback from your peers as well as from myself and have that supportive community. So you don't just get the videos, you get the tools, the templates, and the support to actually launch your course with confidence. So here we have our unique beta launch system. So here is where we have gone through really validating the demand up front, desirability for your particular offer. You build it in real time with your students, so you're not creating in a vacuum. You've got an offer that people have validated by investing dollars into be able to work with you and build it with you. So you're building it real time with them. So you're really making sure that you're closing as many learning gaps as possible and helping your students to be able to get incredible results because you're working with them and course correcting along the way. You're launching confidently and you refine as you go. So you see what works, what didn't work, and where you can continue to include the learning gaps along the way. So our system is really built around launching with confidence. No waiting, no perfection, no hiding behind perfectionism, no spending months and months creating your slide decks, to still be at 0 6 months from now in revenue because you haven't launched yet. This is talking about getting real tangible results from the start. Then also you have a VIP upgrade experience as well. So with the VIP upgrade experience, you have the opportunity for weekly live coaching calls. Also, you could get private WhatsApp access to be able to have me in your pocket and ask me questions through my dedicated times. I'll give you the times in the email when you sign up, but you'll have dedicated times that you can reach out to me on WhatsApp and ask me questions there. You get personalized feedback on all of your marketing materials. So you get to share everything with me from your, sharing your course ideas, sharing your curriculum, helping to make sure that you have a really fully thought out curriculum and that the curriculum includes everything to be able to help your students get incredible results. You have your help with creating all of your slides and teaching materials to teach your students, as well as recording it and everything that goes into the production phase of your online course. You get the bonus access to the signature course launch system, which is my signature course launch system. It's a $777 value. You get access to that. So if you want more personalized help, I'll be in your corner. I'll help you map out. I'll help you refine your offers, and I'll help you launch your online course with confidence step by step. So for now, I have a limited time beta pricing. I've opened up a new beta spot. I'm going through this program again and teaching it live with you for $497. You also, for the VIP upgrade, for the first 10 people, you can get the VIP package to join me with a more personalized support for $499. And then after the first 10 people, it goes back to $997. So if you're one of the people that want to get the VIP access and you want the weekly group coaching, the calls, the WhatsApp support, the personalized feedback on all of your marketing materials, all of your course materials, the signature course launch access, the whole program that teaches you how to scale your entire ecosystem to be able to generate maximum profit in evergreen scalable courses, you get access to that program as well. The first 10 people for $499 and then $997 after that. So this is your chance to get early access and save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. This course alone, this beta pricing is already marked off $1,000. So, it'll go from $497 to $997, and then the next price increase will be $1,497. So definitely a steal to be able to get in now at that low price. So if you are interested, if this is something you would like to get some more support around, this is your opportunity to join now before and grab all of the bonuses as a founding member before these prices disappear. So if you're ready to launch your online course, if you're ready to stop dreaming and finally start taking action, this is your moment. Let's launch your course and build your legacy online course business. So what your next steps here are to join Course Creators Academy. And then you want to connect in with the members inside the Facebook group, those students that have already said yes, that have already jumped in and grabbed those beta spots, to connect with them and get an accountability buddy. It's always great to work with someone else, a peer of yours. You can help hold each other accountable, have that person to go to when you just need to kind of hash out, what you're working on, as well as it creates another opportunity as well to maybe you could be a collaborative partner with them in other projects for helping get in front of each other's audiences and refer to one another. And then launch in 60 days. So this, you will have the proven step-by-step roadmap to be able to launch your online course from idea to launching with confidence in the next 60 days. To imagine from 60 days, if not sooner from now, you are working with paying clients in your beta program. How amazing would that be? So choose your path here. So you have a decision to make. You can join Course Creators Academy. You can do this on your own. If you want to continue to do this on your own, you can, keep Googling, keep showing up for free workshops, things like that, and just trying to put it together and try to figure it out on your own. And there's definitely a lot of resources available for you to be able to do that. I don't recommend it because it does take longer, because you don't see the full strategy behind everything and know why things are structured the way they are. Or you can join Course Creators Academy for $497 for the beta version. And if you want the VIP package, you can upgrade to the first 10 people to upgrade to $499. And after that, it will be an upgrade experience for $997. So go ahead and self-select which one you are. Let me know if you already know which one you are. Drop it in the comments below. You were given this dream for a reason. So let's bring it together and build the life and build the legacy that you desire. Packaging your expertise, turning it into an online course that transforms your expertise into a structured learning experience that brings you sustainable and reliable income on autopilot. So you're building a business around your life, not the other way around, that generates revenue on your terms and that has that meaningful impact. So you can really, driving it back home to thinking about, are you one of those ones like me that wanted to speak on stages and help people around the world, following your passion and doing what you love the most and teaching others how to be able to overcome the things that you've overcome with, to make real change in people's lives, to create that ripple effect that not only affects the people that you're serving, but it affects their family and the people that they are connected with around the world. And it creates literally a global impact. If that is you, if that's what you are ready to do, then I invite you to join us in Course Creators Academy. If that's you, you can go ahead and scan this QR code right now and go ahead and lock in your founding member pricing and jump into the course right away. Once you enroll, you will receive an email from me with all of your logon credentials for Course Creators Academy, so you can jump in and start diving into the incredible content and resources right away, as well as you will receive an invitation to join Course Creators Academy, the VIP or Inner Circle Facebook community, so you can meet with the other members that have already said yes to this opportunity to be a founding member of Creating Your Legacy. So if that's you, go ahead and enroll now. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them below this video or drop them over in my free community, Course Creators Collective, and I will be free or happy to answer them there. And then stay tuned. You'll receive, if you're in my email community as well, you will receive additional information and the replay of this video. This replay will be available for 48 hours for you. And then it will be taken down and put into Course Creators Academy portal for my students inside there. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you found all of this information helpful. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end. I see that many of you are still on live. I appreciate you for staying with me to the end and watching it all. I look forward to hearing all about your incredible course ideas and helping you to create those curriculums and helping you to be able to sell that now so you can start making an impact now. So thank you so much, and I will see you all soon. Stay tuned for your email. I will also put the email to register. If you didn't pre-register and you're catching this on YouTube, you can pre-register for this, and that will get you on my email list. So you will receive more details and goodies as we go. All right. See you soon.